Hi, and welcome to my EDS 201 week two in review. So I wanted to share my reflections with you. The first participation task that you completed this week. Um, was on defining adolescence. So I just want to point out that Anthony, Karen, Anastasia, Shailene had motto posts. So if you're looking for exemplars of how you should format your post, how to include material from the module, how to structure your posts, I would suggest looking at their posts as an example. I appreciate in the first question of how to define adolescence, what Anastasia said. She said, adolescents are old enough to know better, but they are taking risks and getting to know themselves better so they can have a place in the community. And I think that is such an articulate way of describing adolescence. Many people talked about the physical changes that are taking place, clearly, and the cognitive changes, the social emotional changes, the social the changes in relation to peers and families that are taking place. And I think, teens recognizing and developing their own identity is an important part of that. And then I asked people what they thought their biggest issue was facing adolescence, and I got some basically interesting responses. People said violence, teens engaging in violence and being disrespectful. I also heard mental health, stress, anxiety, and depression. Sometimes these issues around mental health were related to social media. And social media, the internet, cyberbullying, technology use that's causing students and teens not to learn, or they're relying on technology and not learning. And then media that influences food choices. And I have to say, when I read that, I started laughing because I was thinking about commercials from when I was a child, where you would watch when you watch cartoons on Saturday morning that like, which they don't even have cartoons on Saturday morning anymore, I don't think. Where, like for children's cereal, like tricks are for kids. But clearly media, social media, the internet technology was one category. And then stereotypes from adults, this imposition of adults, expectations on and stereotypes of teens. School was another factor that people thought was a big issue that teens are facing. Greater demands from a more complex world. Our world is getting very complex. Then also social pressures, which included seeking pressure from the wrong people. And last, someone said trying to figure out who they are, which clearly is a part of um, being an adolescent. Then the second participation task was your theory of adolescence presentation, and Jayla and Lanaya gave presentations on Bronfenbrenner, Melina on G. Stanley Hall, Sierra, Anastasia, and Anderson on Kurt Lewin, Marco on Piaget. So thank you for those. Then I'd read your reflections papers. And first of all, I appreciate your honesty, your vulnerability, your candor. People talked about the struggles they faced as a teen, which included experiencing COVID. Multiple people had uh, death in their families as teens, and were open and shared that, and I appreciated that. Um, People talked about bullying and the impact of social media, the negative impact of social media on their teen years. But people also talked about the impact of music on their lives in a positive way. The impact of family, both two-legged family members and four-legged family members. Um, and then the impact of school as a positive venue, both the people in the school community, but also in the structure of teachers and adults, and the structure of school and academics being a positive space. Many people referred to the years of middle adolescence, 14 to 16, as being a year, a time period when their adolescence shifted and they sort of transitioned from being as connected with their family to being more connected with their peers and maybe not making the best choices during that time. That was reflected in several papers. And maybe some people said they lived their best lives, and some people said maybe they, made some bad choices. So, um, you know, um, that was an interesting time for many people. Um, and then other people talked about switching high schools in several papers and the impact of that. And I shared in some reflections when I gave audio feedback that I also switched high schools. I was actually homeschooled for my uh, freshman and sophomore year, and then I decided I wanted a high school experience. And so I started high school as a junior. And so that was a big transition for me a very, very long time ago. Um, so thank you for your insights. I appreciate your honesty and your vulnerability and your candor. If you haven't noticed, I give audio feedback. So please listen to what I share. There were a couple papers and a few presentations that I was not able to access. So I shared that I could not access them, and please provide me, change the settings so I could see them or upload your paper in a different format so that I could access it. Um, in addition, if you have questions or concerns about my audio feedback, please let me know. Um, Public schools are closed the week of the 16th to the 20th, so you are likely not starting your fieldwork or completing your fieldwork this week. If you still need a fieldwork placement, you can email me and I will send the announcement. I can still help you find a fieldwork placement. I am waiting to hear back from our fieldwork partners for those who have contacted me already. And likely you will hear back from them after the schools are open from the break on the 23rd. So remember, you have 36 hours of field work to complete by the end of the semester, ideally 3 to 4 hours a week um, uh, between now and May. So don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions. You can still join the Remind app. I hope you have a great rest of the day. I have enjoyed your contributions to our learning community. I look forward to seeing and hearing more. And I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. Be well, and thank you.